everyone. Welcome to my channel on this Monday, March 18th, 2024. And just got back from the sub shop where I got myself a large Italian sub, my favorite sub. I got that first sub was an Italian sub from a sub shop that is no longer there, and I'm pretty sure I purchased it with my own money. It was paper route money. I remember I had a friend with a paper route, and in his room he had a desk with all his money in a one big pile, like all his tips. And I remember thinking that was more money than I've ever seen in all my life. So here it is, toasted, of course. Have to have it in the oven. Got a large, so I'll probably eat half. Oh yeah, oil and vinegar, onions, lettuce, tomato, hot peppers. Oh yeah, and I thought it was just appropriate. I was going to have a glass of water, and I said, well, I got a cut on my hand, and the vinegar just went in there. And I said, I'll have a Corona. So, okay, and I got a lime here, but I didn't bring a knife. In it goes. Wow. I just realized I only had a cup of tea, and then before you know it, I got on these projects in the backyard. I don't know what happened. I'm always paranoid that I didn't turn something on. I just had this apart. I was trying something different. This has got a shock absorber on it, or not a shock absorber. It suppresses any noise that travel up through the arm, and has a different fitting than your camera. Typical camera, I think, is 1/4. 1/4 20, something like that. And it's, I think that's 20 threads. And this connection here for this Blue Yeti is like 3/8 or 5/8, and then you gotta get down to 3/8 or something like that. So I like to be able to I could use the microphones on the Zoom, and that has the same threads. You can screw that into the adapter on this arm that I have attached to this extension pole, and it's the same for like a tripod. But if I wanted to do it with this, I need an adapter if I want to be able to do videos standing up. And I was trying to figure out how to do that. It's a nice bright sunny day, but the wind is picking up. And so I just happened to start looking at a video on blueberries. I got a couple of blueberry bushes. But you have to have, the soil has to be really acidic or they don't do good. So I started thinking about it. I have one blueberry bush in a container, but it doesn't get the sun until later on, like around 11 o'clock, because it's in the shadow of the house. So I moved it away from the house, and then I started thinking about, well, let me see if I have that, what is it, it's sulfur, I think, to acidify the soil, and I had it, but it's slow acting. I think the microbes have to work on it to get it, to work it into the soil. So the buds are almost breaking. But the problem is, this is what's going to happen. I go off on a tangent. I have an apricot tree. Buds are starting to swell. It's about 47 degrees, not quite 50. And it's windy. While we're getting low temperatures, still below freezing, so it's going to get down to 24 degrees. I think later on this week. So that could kill off the fruiting buds on the apricot. Excuse me. and I moved it near where the beehive is. And I said, well, let me go look to see if my bees survived the winter. And I was pretty sure that they hadn't. I still think they didn't make it. But when I opened it up, there were some bees in there. But it might be that the queen is dead. And if the queen dies, they have no purpose. And it's just a matter of time when they die. The winter bees live a little bit longer. Well, they're not doing anything. In the summertime, worker bees, they're constantly working, so they live like less than a month. So there was a bunch of dead bees on the bottom. So then I had to go get the vacuum cleaner. I said I might as well vacuum it out since I have it open. Then my raised bed that I have, I couldn't resist cleaning it a little bit. So it took a lot of dead plants out of it. I got up at 7, and before I know it, it's 1 o'clock. So I had seen a story yesterday about the lottery getting up there, and so I said, well, let me go walk down to the local gas station and buy a lottery ticket. And then I said to myself, well, since I'm going down there, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, let me get I don't feel like having leftover Chinese food. Let me get a sub. I almost didn't go down because I have chili in the freezer. I was going to eat the chili defrosted. Yesterday I posted a video last night, early in the morning, and I was just thinking about it. I bought it like at 8:30, because on Sunday they close at 9:30. And then I was so tired, I almost didn't edit the video. But then I powered through it. I got like a second wind and finished editing and posted the video. And I started thinking about it, and then I realized Sunday morning, because on MeTV at 12 o'clock, wait a minute, was it 12 o'clock or 1:55 or 12:55? It was either 12:55 or 1:55. I thought that they had changed their schedule because that's when Lost in Space is on. But I wasn't seeing the beginning of Lost in Space. I was catching the last 5 minutes. You know how last 5 minutes of Lost in Space, is when they end with an intro on what the next episode is going to bring. You know, they bump into a monster or something dramatic happens and then they freeze and they tell you, you know, it's going to be on the next episode. So I was up at 1 o'clock or 1:55. So I was up until 2 o'clock. You know, I was up 12 hours. Then I was up 12 hours again, so I was up. No wonder why I was so tired. I was up 24 hours. But I must have just passed out. Woke up at 7 o'clock. But it was a terrible sleep because I woke up and I wasn't refreshed. I was just up. It was just another day. And I was thinking, I remember only one time in my life I have a distinct memory of waking up, and I woke up and I felt that I had slept for a week. I never forget that. I had never had that feeling again the rest of my life. I felt I had slept for so long. And I don't know what happened. Never woke up after a good night's sleep and said, wow, I feel so refreshed. I feel like I didn't sleep. So no dreams. I just was dead to the world. Then woke up. Another day. At least my schedule's back, right? Maybe it's the sun. We've had so much cloudy days. Now I'm getting some sun. Must have cut myself on the, I don't know where I did that. Doesn't feel good with vinegar in it. So here we are in the middle of March. I don't know when, like the garden center of Home Depot, when they start carrying bags of garden soil, when the garden center opens up. So I gave them a call. You just have to go through this endless menu. It asks you, you know, what are you calling for? You're calling for a product. You want to see if your product's in. I'm like, yes. Okay, tell us about your product. Okay, do you have a barcode for the product? Do you have a specific brand? I just hung up. I just want to ask real quick. Is the garden center open? Do you have soil in yet? I really want to have this second half. Because the thing is, with the oil and vinegar, it starts to get soggy, you know, if you wrap it up in saran wrap and put it in the fridge. It just isn't the same as it is, right now. All right, I'm going for it. Well, we're at 21 minutes. Bought my first Italian sub with my paper route. And you can't just get a paper route. I knew someone. It was a friend of a friend. And I knew the person. And they were leaving their route. So I don't know if he approached me or I approached him. And he's like, well, I got this route I'm giving up. Let me show you how to do it. So I met him one morning and delivered the papers with him. Went down to the convenience store that was the drop-off point for the Boston Globe, the Boston Herald. I think there was a Herald American. And you'd see the Globe trucks out there every morning dropping off the papers. You'd have a Sunday paper this thick during the Christmas holiday. I had a paper bag. A newspaper bag. You wrapped you had the sissy bars. I think they called it, and it had a special way to just take it, wrap it around the handle, and half of it would be on one side, and the other half would be on the other side, so the bars were like a divider, so you could have your papers right there as you pedaled. And I had converted my 3-speed bike with a banana seat into just a regular bike that had when you pedaled, if you stop pedaling, go backwards, it initiated a back brake, because the bike used to have the brakes on the handles, where you had a back brake and a front brake. That was cooler because you could then skid out. You could skid with the back brake, the pedal brake. Then people would saw off the forks on bikes and do fork extensions. So it was like a chopper motorcycle. When you're a kid, a year is an eternity. So I was trying to think about what age group I had that bike route. I might have had it for 2 or 3 years. And I remember my father telling me he never thought that I would last, and he was impressed that I lasted as long as I did on that paper route, because I had to get up before school, and I got up every day like 5 o'clock, and had to go down to the convenience store. You know, they'd have your stack of papers with your name on it or your route name on it. I seem to recall it was called like 3A or 3B, something like that. And I got the papers all organized. Got them in my paper newspaper bag and pedaled out. And I wasn't your typical paper boy. I got off the bike. I had a system where I would pedal up to the curb. I'd have the pedals just right, and then I'd lean the bike up where the pedal was the kickstand. It would lean up against the curb, and it wouldn't go anywhere. And I took that paper and I put it inside the door. The storm door was unlocked. I put the paper inside the storm door or in the mailbox. You never had to come outside to get your paper. Well, today's trash pickup, I forgot. I hadn't picked up the trash yet. They picked up the recyclables, but they didn't pick up the trash. So we'll have to wait until this passes. Why not? But the thing is, also on Sundays I went out and I was tasked with picking up the money that the people owed. So I seem to recall that there was a separate person delivering just the Sunday paper, which was, it was unique from the regular days of the week. It must have had like more ads in it or something, This is before the internet, people, so the ad revenue went into advertising in, sections in the newspaper, and also additional leaflets or whatever was put into the paper, So maybe I collected on Saturday. But, so I had a booklet. It was about the size of a passbook that you'd have for like a savings account. You used to have the little book you give the teller, and they would punch in the interest and whether you made a withdrawal or made a deposit. But they had the customer's name, and then I think that every week, and then you put like, a slash or an X or something like that. And you'd have some people that hadn't paid for a couple of weeks. So I had no filters, or, they knew that they were supposed to leave an envelope. They were supposed to leave money at the door for that week's paper delivery, and some of the people would fall behind. It could be 6 o'clock in the morning. For some reason, I seem to recall it was Sunday. But I wasn't delivering the Sunday paper, so it must have been Saturday morning. And I would just ring the doorbell 6 o'clock in the morning. You'd have people. I never was apologetic. I had no inkling that there was, anything wrong with it. You were supposed to pay, and I was supposed to be collecting money. So they would come to the door in their pajamas, their hair all a mess. I just woke them up, ringing the doorbell 6 o'clock in the morning, and nobody complained. They paid the money, and you mark it in the book as, how much they gave you, and then when you went back, the money would be counted, and then they would go through your ledger, and they would see whether or not the receipt that totaled what you said you collected, they'd match that up with how much. They would count your money. You put the money in a separate, they had like a bag with a zipper on it, I think. Now they think about it. So they would count that up, and then they would count up what you said you collected, and then the difference was what you get paid. Because they would tip you. Then they had an accountant. Remember this accountant with the horn rim glasses and the chain, around the neck. And she had one of those manual adding machines where she punched in the numbers, pulled that lever down as she went through the book. Then she would give you a printout of the total, and then you went to a separate desk. And there was this guy, he couldn't have been any more Irish. I mean, he would count the money. He'd count the money in front of you. You'd give him that receipt, and then he'd give you the difference. That was your pay. Then it was a penny candy store too. So of course you paid, and then you'd go over and you'd buy some candy for yourself. They put it in a small paper bag. It's funny, I forgot about this. I had remembered this memory and wanted to bring it up, but I just forgot about it. Does anybody recall? Maybe they still make them. I think they were called Smith Brothers cough drops. And it came in a box. And maybe like the size of the Good and Plenty's maybe. But it was cough drops. Well, I would buy those as if they were candy, I would just buy a box. I didn't have a cold or anything like that. I didn't have a sore throat. They used to have a cherry Smith Brothers cough drops. And they were so good, I bought them for the flavor. But you would buy candy like those, man, they really had us hopped up on sugar. They'd buy those Pixie Sticks, which is basically just a straw to get a hit of sugar, You just have that flavored sugar. You'd have those necklaces made of that hard candy, and you just bite the candy off the necklace, and you just wear it, and when you wanted to, you just bite it off. Wax lips. Of course, they had the I can't remember the name of those things. Is it a New England candy? It's a small disc of chocolate with what do they call those? It's on the tip of my tongue. With little white, how do you describe that? Sprinkles on it or something like that. I think that's a New England candy. That's gonna bother me. I gotta go on the internet and figure out what those are called. They're white sprinkles. It's a chocolate disc. I don't know why I want to say snowflakes, but that's not it. Man, I can't believe I can't remember the name of those. I used to always get the good, I used to get the, no, they're not called dots. No, I don't think so. Are they called dots? I think you still get them in the movies, right? Come in a box. But, oh, of course, then you had that candy that was on a strip of paper. And you just bite them off. Little dots. No, those are dots. And, I always forget the one that I used to like. It was butter, honey nut, honey butter. It was like not taffy. Oh, I don't think they make it anymore. And it used to be on a piece of paper. There was 2 pieces of wax paper, and they were sectioned off. And it was like nougat, but chewy. And it was like an orange, reddish orange, darker orange wrapper. Honey nut. I forget the name of that one. But yeah, I collect the paper money. But I delivered the paper, so they didn't even have to go out of the house. I didn't throw the paper in the yard. I think I had that for 2 or 3 years. Then I think I stopped delivering the paper because it became like a stigma. Like you were too old to deliver a paper. It's like when you become too old to wear a costume for trick-or-treating when you're a kid. You go through that stage. Well, I was gonna say, that's it, but kind of rambled on there. Got one of my favorites here, and that's baklava. Oh, man. Talk about sugar. I figure out the name of that candy bar. Also grew up with the Cracker Jack commercials. have that anymore is product spokespeople that become celebrities. Like you have the Charmin commercials. What was the commercial there? Don't squeeze the Charmin guy. That guy was on for years. Same thing with Cracker Jacks. That guy he was also an actor though. Characters, I forget the characters he would play. Of course, you had that woman that played the Wicked Witch of the West, and she did the Folgers commercials for a couple of years. She was a character actor. The refrigerator is putting out that resonant hum when it turns on. The microphone's picking that up. Well, thanks everyone for stopping by on this Monday afternoon, March 18th. That was a nice large sub. I don't think I'll be eating for the rest of the day. I got the last Corona. I'm gonna put it back in the fridge. I don't want to be non-productive for the rest of the day. Just thought I'd have a beer with this sub. So thanks everyone for stopping by and watching another one of my videos. That was a nice large Italian sub from Melrose House of Pizza. And piece of baklava and Wachusett's potato chips. For some reason, potato chips seem to make me tired the next day too. So I won't have any more potato chips. But yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by. Thank you for your comments and continued support. And thanks for using the Amazon link to get you over to Amazon to make any of your Amazon purchases. Thanks to all my PayPal contributors. And well, I think now I might have to take a nap. But till next video, everyone, thanks for watching.